everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette C8 Z06 3LZ. This model is finished off in silver flare. MSRPs for the 3LZ start right around $125,000. We have a lot to go over for this American supercar. We're going to start off with what this is powered by. Since this is a mid-engine vehicle, the Z06 is powered by the 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8. It is paired to an 8-speed automatic. This pumps out 670 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, sent to those rear wheels, propelling this 3,500-pound supercar from 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. Top speed is 195. As far as fuel economy goes, you're looking right around 12 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. Now, as far as the exterior styling goes, there's a few differences between this and the C8 Stingray. Up front, there's not too many noticeable differences. This does feature 2 forward-facing cameras. There's plenty of cutouts in the lower section to provide a lot of cooling to the components up front. Also, really nice sleek design for these LED headlight housings, which follow the body lines very nicely to give this some better airflow, better aerodynamics with all of these curves. Very nice lines in the hood too, as well as in the entire lower section. Now, being a mid-engine vehicle, you do get storage up front where there's a hidden button on this driver's side. Of course, you can use the button on the key fob if you would like to. And once we have that released, you actually have a good bit of storage where you can place some items as needed. So it is doable to put in some of those extra items as needed. For 2024, they added the soft close so you don't have to slam that front trunk lid. Now, as we work our way to the side, the Z06 is equipped with a staggered setup for the wheels. They're 20 inches up front, 21 in the rear. This also has 6-piston Brembo brakes, 4 pistons in the rear. Really nice wheel option. It matches the silver very nicely. You do have some other options, of course, that you can go with. Now, the side mirrors have the body-colored mirror cap, gloss black in the lower section, and the passenger mirror is actually longer than the driver's side. So Chevrolet did that for better visibility over this entire pillar in the back. So you may not be able to see that, but it is a small distinction. There's gloss black in the lower section there. And then with the Z06, you get a larger inlet here versus the Stingray. There's also the body color trim accent, which you can get in different colors. And this is the coupe. It does feature the Targa top, however. So you can remove this entire section right here and place it in the back, as you previously saw. Really nice lines that run down the side, giving this a really good character. Now, in back, we have this extension piece on the spoiler there to give it a great look. There's a backup camera, LED taillights, all the parking sensors, and then there's more gloss black in the lower bumper here with the quad tips all in the center. Now, we can take a listen to that because this does have remote start, so let's fire it up. You can also use the key fob to shut this off as needed, which is nice. And then from there, you can use the button on the key fob or the one underneath the E to gain access to the engine compartment and the rear storage. So as you can tell, there is another roof in here at the moment. This one's finished off in gloss black, so there's some roof options that you can get. Chevrolet states you can fit 2 golf bags in the back here, so you have that much additional storage space along with the storage up front to make this a great daily driver. To be honest, you can put in a lot of items and it's very doable to drive every day. Now, underneath this trim accent is the release to open the door. This model is finished off with the adrenaline red leather interior. Everything is red. We have brushed aluminum accents too for your Bose audio. There's your window adjustments, lock and unlock. We have the release for the storage up front and in the rear, storage space in the back, electronic button for the release. However, if the battery dies, you have your manual releases in the footwell. Z06 is also down on the door sill. And then take a look at these carbon fiber seats, carbon fiber trim with the solid red, all the power adjustments, red seat belts too. And then hopping in now, we have a beautiful steering wheel, flat top and bottom design with the carbon fiber and the leather, all the red accents, massive carbon fiber paddles too. But let's start this back up where we have some favorites on this left side. Along with your cruise distance pacing, you have volume, as well as your heated steering wheel, Bluetooth and voice commands, and then you have some fun buttons here. So let's start on this right side where we can go through the digital gauge cluster, and you can go through all this information, including your display layout, so you can change the entire screen depending on the mode that you would like to go into, and you can still continue to go through all of this normal information. You do have a performance tab where you can even get into your launch control as needed, and then you have some general information for everyday driving. So really nice that you have those depictions there. And then the button on the left side is your Z button. So this is how you can get into your presets here. So you can have this setup ready to go with your steering, suspension. You have the engine sound as well, your shifting too that you can get into, in your traction control. So you can have that set up, of course. Now you have the e-brake. You also have one air vent, as well as information for the head-up display. So you can go through a few different settings here, depending on what you'd like to see, even pulling up what gear you're in. So you're doing some performance driving, you can monitor that. We have red everywhere, even the red Alcantara on the headliner, the sunroof there, or the sunshades, and in the back. And then moving on to the infotainment system, we have a physical button for home, power, and volume. We can swipe over, look at your maps. You have the camera angles, your performance data recorder, My Chevrolet, a few settings like that. And then you have the shortcuts over on this left side to further get through all of this. Now there's an air vent underneath that. You have traction control and a camera button, so you can quickly pull that up, where you have a lot of different angles depending on what you'd like to see. And then obviously you have your rear view camera by putting it into reverse with some similar angles and the guidelines there to go through. Now you also have different modes where you can rest your hand here and twist this dial. So these are the different modes that you can go through, and you'll notice the entire graphic will change as well. Very neat to see that. You can also see the adjustments on both sides where you can further customize it. Now you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, and the manual setting, which allows you to use the paddles. Now, if you are in park and you want to rev this, you actually have to pull both paddles at the same time. So if I try to rev it just in normal park, it's not going to go that high. But if you pull on both of them, you can rev it out a little bit higher. Now you have cup holders along with a cover there, and then you have all of your adjustments for the heated and ventilated seats, your climate adjustments too. Everything's laid out pretty well, even though there are a lot of controls. You have the center armrest with some auxiliaries, wireless charging, glove box has plenty of space. This also has a digital rear view mirror to give you extra visibility, which is very helpful. You have garage door buttons, dome lights, and some call buttons. And then with 3 latches, you can take this roof off and store it in the back. And then you can get a look at that V8. You have a good bit of visibility. There's a pillar here, which is why that mirror's poked out. And then you have your rear view to help you as well. So honestly, for the style vehicle, you have all the tech aids to really help you out. But now let's go ahead and get the Z06 out on the road. So many different options that you can go with for the C8 in general. For the Z06, you can get a 1, 2, or 3LZ like we are in right now. So this is pretty much fully loaded. That's why everything is red, because with the 3LZ you get a lot more interior options to spec it out with everything and the different interiors, things like that. So just depending on your budget, the Z06 starts right around $114,000 or so, and of course can go up from there. A base Stingray is going to cost you, they start around 60, but realistically 75 or so, 80,000. So it's a significant jump up to get the Z06, but you are also getting a huge step up in performance. Shifts are super quick, so let's give it another acceleration here. Turning radius is also pretty tight too. And just a mild acceleration, that sounds so good. It's also a very comfortable vehicle to drive too, so I really like how Chevrolet basically made this car as the only car you need, because you can take this to the grocery store and then drive to the track, and you're going to be comfortable with the magnetic suspension that this model has. it's going to give you a nice, soft, comfortable, more of a like a grand touring type of car. But then you can put it into the different modes and stiffen it up and make it drive how you want the car to drive. So it's going to adapt to those different settings, which I really like to see. So Chevrolet came out with almost an exotic supercar, like really good competitor with the C8. And I know a lot of people, you know, like or preferred the Corvette with the front engine, but aside from a lack of a manual transmission, which I think would be a really cool option for this vehicle, everyone's kind of going away from that. This is an incredibly good option when you can compare it to other exotic supercars. So Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren, now you have the C8. So if you want an American vehicle and you want that exotic performance, this is your answer right here. That is going to wrap it up for the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette C8 Z06 3LZ. Once again, huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this exotic for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.